Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, General, most welcome today. This is an accident, today's meeting. In a way, a product of a request by one or two of the honorable ambassadors who wanted to visit me to say goodbye. And then one of my colleagues suggested, saying, well, why don't we do that and also do a collective farewell and goodbye with all the ambassadors and representatives and the representatives of the military from NATO and the US in Afghanistan. I felt that was a very great idea, and I said, let's arrange this for Saturday. So I welcome you all today under this old treed environment. They say these trees are as old as 300-400 years old. I have no idea. Maybe they are, maybe they're not that old, but certainly they are quite old. And to use this opportunity of saying goodbye to you, I thought I should also mention a few very short words, Excellencies, of thanking all of you around this table today for all that you have done for Afghanistan in the past 13 years. Indeed, what we have achieved in Afghanistan in our social, economic, and political life has been the desire of the Afghan people. But definitely, our progress would have not been possible without the support that all of you, in your own ways, provided to Afghanistan. So while I'm saying goodbye to you, I also would like to convey the gratitude of the Afghan people for the help that you've all provided in the past 13 years. We are grateful for that. Remember that we recognize it as a nation. Remember that we cherish it as a good memory, and that it will stay in Afghan books and in our history as a period where Afghanistan received tremendous international assistance and presence in our country. Of course, there are occasions where I have been tough in my remarks. There were occasions where I've spoken frankly, and frankness is, I believe, the best form of friendship, and openness is a sign of sincerity. With all that, and notwithstanding that, the Afghan people are grateful for your help, and today that we see our children going to school, today that we see our roads better, today that we see our health services better, today that we see Afghanistan's flag flying around the world, is because of your assistance and support, all of you, I must repeat, in your own ways, and with the means that you had available to you individually as countries. Unfortunately, we still have a lot of violence in Afghanistan. Unfortunately, we still suffer from incidents of violence in this country. And the desire for the Afghan people is to free ourselves of this violence as soon as possible, so we can have peace, complete peace, and tranquility for all of the Afghan people, and indeed for this whole region. And towards that desire, I'm sure you will all work with us, and there is no doubt, and I can speak with certainty, that there will be a day soon, rather, that Afghanistan will see complete peace and stability, and the next president and his government will have surely your support and also my support as a citizen of Afghanistan and the support of the Afghan people. The day after tomorrow, we'll be inaugurating the new president of Afghanistan and his chief executive to begin work together as the government of Afghanistan. I'm sure we'll all meet you there the day after tomorrow as well, and I'll be thanking you again that day in my presentation of the inauguration of the day. My speech for that day will be very, very short, very, very short. That day will be the day of the new president, and he will have all the time to speak and to explain to the Afghan people and to the international community his plans as the president of Afghanistan. And a minute after my statement inaugurating the inaugurating day, I'll be standing behind our new president and will be in his service and with tremendous respect for him and his chief executive as the citizen of this country. And this tradition certainly will be cherished by the Afghan people, and I hope that will be a legacy for me as well. So I thank you very, very much for all that you have done, and we recognize it, that in working relationships there are happy and sad moments, but we have gotten through with them together. And I would have loved to thank each individual country separately. I guess there will be occasion for me to do that, but today let's thank all of you together for your collective help to Afghanistan. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, General. Thank you. Thank you very much. I must also say that all of you have been kind to invite me to your countries many, many times. I have thoroughly enjoyed those trips, and thank you for the hospitality, but I'm sure I will enjoy those trips much better as a citizen. Much better as a citizen. Thank you. Ambassador of India, please.
For all the countries present here, we of course are very excited and preparing for with the Foreign Office and your protocol for the visit of the Vice President. Some elements of the program is still uncertain. Of course, from your speech, we feel that it would maybe the way we had envisaged it, that perhaps President, of course, will be inaugurated, and then perhaps he will give an oath to his CEO. So, right, Excellency, because that was a concern that many of us had here, and many of our capitals want that confirmation also.
That is confirmed.
Right, sir.
I had a word a few days ago with both the gentlemen, the President and the CEO, on this, and transmitted the requests of both gentlemen to one another. But then yesterday afternoon it was confirmed that the Chief Justice will inaugurate the new President. And after the inauguration of the new President, then the President will inaugurate the Chief Executive. And in order for me to make sure that this is the case, I spoke this morning with President-elect Dr. Ashraf Ghani, who confirmed that this will be the case. So instructions have gone to the inauguration committee to prepare the same.
For us, of course, you remain till you step back, as you said, the President of this country. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, European Union, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. And first of all, on behalf of all the colleagues, let me thank you for this splendid occasion. It's a wonderful setting, I think one that we all enjoy. And I would like also personally to thank you for giving us the opportunity to say farewell to you just before the official inauguration takes place of the next president of Afghanistan. I do think it's timely just to thank you for your tremendous efforts in transforming Afghanistan, the work that you put in yourself personally towards changing Afghanistan to a country which has achieved so much during the past 13 years. As you mentioned yourself, Mr. President, there have been ups and downs, but who would not experience that over 13 years, even in the closest of marriages? Indeed. So we should also allow for some room in international partnerships. But it should not distract from the big picture. And just as I believe that the big picture of the elections and the political deal that was struck is that two people whom the Afghan nation wished to see undoubtedly as their leaders now are coming into leadership. And that the elections actually allowed them to do this is a key message from the elections that took place. I also think there is an added element which is tremendously important, and that is that we are seeing the first peaceful transfer of power in Afghanistan ever.
Very significant.
And you, of course, Mr. President, are a key element in that, since the first element in any such peaceful transfer is that somebody is willing to step back and to send us a clear signal of willingness to have such a peaceful transfer of power. So both when it comes to past achievements, let us not forget how much better Afghanistan looks today than it did 13 years ago, and also use the occasion to reflect on the fact that it has been possible to carry on to the next leaders in a peaceful way, and I think those two things should stand as the main points on a day as the one we have today. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
luck for the future.
Thank you very, very much. Mr. Ambassador Cunningham, please.
Thank you, Mr. President, for this occasion and for setting up this delightful arrangement for all of us to greet you on this momentous couple of days. When I spoke to the press the other day, only a few of the reporters reported what I said about your legacy.
They did, yes, some of them did.
And I meant what I said about the power of your legacy, and that you and your country should be proud of what's been achieved during the past 13 years, not least of which is, as my colleagues have noted, the successful transfer of political authority to a new president, which I very sincerely hope will set the standard for your country from now on.
Indeed.
And that's something that, sir, that you should be very proud of. The government that's being formed on Monday will face very many challenges, not least of which in bringing the two teams together behind the new president and the chief executive. And I very much encourage you, as part of your activities from now on, and in terms of preserving your legacy and building on it, to do everything you can to bring the two camps together and to unite the Afghan people behind the new government, as must happen if the government is going to succeed.
Indeed.
Tremendous amount has been achieved over the past years, especially over the past couple of years that I've been here, and I think it needs to be brought to the attention of the Afghan people, not what has been achieved, but what can be achieved in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. It's a tremendous opportunity ahead of your people if they can find a way to take advantage of it, and I hope you will play a role in cementing and building on that progress, sir.
Definitely. Definitely. As a citizen of this country, I'll be fully in support of the new arrangement, the new president and his chief executive, and will do all I can, but very quietly. I had a long one-on-one meeting the day before yesterday with President-elect Dr. Ashraf Ghani, in which I told him that I will be, as a citizen of this country, in his service. Whenever he asks my advice and opinion, I'll be ready to come and give him in full faith of what I feel is the right thing for this country and of my experience. And certainly the two gentlemen will have that from me. And also it's a collective duty of all of us, the Afghan people, and also as helped by the international community to make sure that the country moves forward better and stronger. So definitely we'll do that. And thank you. Thank you very much. Ambassador of China.
Mr. President, first I would congratulate you for the great achievement in the last 13 years in your presidency. Actually, I was here January 2002. I stayed here for 2.5 years, and I saw the situation of Afghanistan at that time. And last year I came again for ambassadorship, and I see the great changes taking place, especially in the fields you mentioned just now, in education, in the structure, social life, especially the position of women. So I congratulate you for that. That's what the international community like to see. Second, I would express my admiration to you for your important role in the formation of national unity government, and which we hope that will be the starting point towards peace and unity of Afghanistan. And Chinese government is ready to cooperate with the new government for the peace and the reconstruction of the country. Last but not least, I heard that after inauguration ceremony, you will be my close neighbor.
Yes.
And I'm very glad of that. So, taking this opportunity, I would like to make an appointment with you. I invite you to the embassy to play ping pong and have dinner with embassy staff.
With pleasure, Mr. Ambassador. With pleasure, pleasure.
Thank you.
Pleasure. This will be my third dinner at the Chinese embassy. My first one was when I was Deputy Foreign Minister in 1992. My second one was about 8 years ago, where I did play ping pong. And my third one will be very soon, but I'll have to train myself for the ping pong. Thank you. Yes, ma'am, please.
Mr. President, following the Chinese ambassador to invite you to the Canadian embassy to play hockey.
Well, welcome, ma'am.
Although I doubt that I'll be on the team, but I'll be cheering for you. Mr. President, what I really want to do this morning, and I thank my Chinese colleague as well for raising how much progress Afghan women have made under your tour, under your time as president. And I particularly want to point out, although I know everyone around the table is acutely aware of it, but I want to point out that the evil law happened because of you, because of the presidential decree that you put in place and the support that you continue to give to it. Equally, your intervention with the Criminal Procedure Code, many, many times. I have a group, I should tell you, of young female Afghan professionals who come to my embassy on a regular basis. I call them my board of directors. And they advise me on what they see as the future, their future here in Afghanistan. And maybe your ears were ringing at these various lunches we had, because they spoke very positively of the faith and the hope they had in their future, directly because of the support that you have given. So I really wanted to take a moment on this beautiful, sunny Afghan morning and thank you on behalf of the Afghan women, although it is not entirely my place. I know that they will be thanking you. But also on behalf of women around the world, because frankly, the fate of Afghan women and the future for Afghan women has become iconic. It is now symbolic of the future for women all around the world. So to you and to your wonderful team, Minister Karzai in particular, sitting to your right, who's done much to try to improve the police women work environment. I know that this will continue with Dr. Ghani. We've spoken with him about this, with President-elect Ghani, and I'm sure equally with Dr. Abdullah. But now they can stand on your shoulders for the great work you've done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am.
Excellency, I'm not going to repeat everything that has been so eloquently said, but simply to say that I want to associate myself with the remarks of several colleagues. And perhaps to add here that Your Excellency is very much aware that His Highness has had a very special relationship with Afghanistan, and of course with you for the time of your presidency. And he's coming specially, changed everything, because he wants not just to be able to be at the inauguration of the new president and also the chief executive, but to pay tribute to you.
Thank you very much.
And I have been specifically asked to convey that.
Thank you very much.
And a number of colleagues have spoken about, you have spoken about, Your Excellency, about the progress that has been made. For surely there has been much progress in all the areas. Perhaps one thing we could do more as ambassadors and encourage headquarters in different places to do, I know we do this, is to talk about this more. Exactly. Because the reality is that media seems to like bad news. And so, and in all our, wherever we are, it's really important that we convey the message, the positive message of things that have been done. Much needs to be done, and we will be here. We will be here, inshallah, to support the efforts ongoing.
Well, to echo your words, ma'am, I'm reminded of that famous, lovely poem by Frost, Robert Frost. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. So definitely the Afghan journey has been a remarkable journey, but surely, as you said, we have miles more to travel. Miles more to travel. Indeed. Indeed, ma'am. Merhaba.
به نام خداوند جان و خرد، جلال و ارجمند رئیس جمهوری اسلامی افغانستان، همکاران ارجمند،
Your Excellency, President of the Islamic Republic of Iran, your colleagues.
اجازت فرمایید.
I'm sorry.
We are the same, it's all right. We're the same. We are the same. And I'll be happy to be in President Rouhani's place.
اجازت فرمایید از حسن نیت از این امکان بسیار نیک برای یک ملاقات بسیار واقعا به وسیله دوستای افغانی جانانه با شما جلال ارجمند و همکاران شما صدقاً ابراز سپاس دارم.
Let me express, Your Excellency, my most sincere appreciation for this today's opportunity to be here with you.
Thank you.
Being invited to invite all us from diplomatic corps.
من مطمئنم که جلال ارجمند شما در سرنوشت نوین تاریخی و سیاسی افغانستان نقش مؤثر و تاریخی دارید. نقش نهایت بزرگ و مؤثر شما در ایجاد و تقویت نظام نوین سیاسی، در تطبیق اصول و ارزش‌های مردم سالاری بخصوص آزادی سخن، نقش فعال زنان، رشد معارف که ما همه با چشم خود دیدیم در این سالها نهایت بزرگ است و من باور دارم که شما در تاریخ افغانستان نقش واقعا ماندگار دارید که هیچ کس نمیتواند بستونه.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, you have played a significant role in the modern history of Afghanistan. During your presidency, 13 years, which were mentioned by our colleagues, you did very much to your country, to your people. And we all of us, we know that the level of education, development of civil services, everything was founded and created by you.
نقش شما در تطبیق سیاست خارجی افغانستان در ارتقای مقام و نفوذ کشور برادر افغانستان در شرکت نهایت گسترده جامعه جهانی در افغانستان نهایت بزرگ است و بخصوص در گسترش و تحکیم مناسبت‌های واقعا دوستانه با کشورهای منطقه با کشورهای پیشرفته جهان این نقش نهایت تاریخی است و نهایتاً جلال محترم شما طی 6 سالی که ما فعالیت داشتیم شاهد آن بودیم که توجه خاص به هیئت دیپلماتیک داشتیم و سفرهای کشورهای گوناگون بخصوص کشورهای منطقه داشتیم. در این راستا من صدقاً از توجه خاص شما به کشور برادرتان تاجیکستان از روابط واقعا برادرانه شما با رئیس جمهوری تاجیکستان و از حسن نیت و نظر بسیار نیکی شما به مردم تاجیکستان صدقاً سپاسگزار هستیم.
Mr. President, during your presidency, international relations of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan developed and strengthened very much with international community and with regional countries of the region. And during my 6 years of tenure as the ambassador of my country, also I see that you paid a very tremendous attention to the diplomatic corps, to our activities. You helped us so much. And you also did a lot of things to develop our bilateral relations with Tajikistan. Thank you for that.
در فرجام میخواهم ذکر کنم که افغانستان برادر هیچگاه در تاریخش چنین یک هیئت بسیار بزرگی دیپلماتیک نداشت. اجازه دهید به نمایندگی از همه همکاران ارجمند به شما جلال مآل ارجمند صحت کامل، روحیه متین، کامیابی‌های نوین بهین و در زندگیتان سعادت واقعی انسانی را آرزو کنم. در آغوش خانواده بسیار گرم شما، فرزندان نهایت شیرین شما که همه ما در همین دوره ما دیدیم که اینها به دنیا آمدن در زیر محبت شما ان شاءالله کلان شدید. ما آرزومند هستیم که شما همراه خانواده‌تان در وقت‌های نزدیک مهمان تاجیکستان باشید ان شاءالله. یک جان تشکر. سلامت باشید.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, so far I've never seen such a multiple diplomatic community gathering here to say farewell. It's just due to your efforts and to your tremendous achievements. And I would like, on behalf of the diplomatic community as the Dean of Diplomatic Corps, to sincerely wish you genuine health.
Thank you.
Very great achievements in the future.
Thank you.
Prosperity and happiness.
Thank you.
Also, you have a house in Tajikistan.
Thank you.
Always you are welcome in Tajikistan.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You rightly recognize the remarkable development progress of Afghanistan, the girls and boys who are now in school, the healthcare that's being provided throughout the country, but also when we get into regional economic cooperation. And I know, for example, on the CASA 1000 project, you have personally been engaged in making that a regional success that demonstrates the place of Afghanistan as a credible, reliable economic partner in this region and throughout the world. The other attribute that we've seen here under your leadership and that of your government has been the amazing collectiveness of the international support. The Afghanistan Reconstruction Trust Fund that the World Bank has the privilege to manage is unheard of throughout the world. over $7 billion that has collectively been put together by 33 donors, all of it 100% through your government's budget and implemented by the government. And while we all recognize, and as you mentioned, Mr. President, the remaining challenges of poverty reduction, of economic development, of the fiscal issues, we are able to move forward with the foundation that you've laid, and we look forward to working with the incoming government on all of these issues. So thank you for your leadership.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. And the last speaker will be Mr. Ambassador.
Mr. President, to all the good words that have been said, I would like to bring out one view, being here more than 1 year now. And that is that you kept this country in unity.
Yes.
I think that is the greatest legacy.
Very important.
And you were attacked for paying a heavy price for keeping the country in unity.
Exactly.
I think those prices are well paid.
Absolutely worth it.
So
Right.
I think we should all be grateful for that. And then, of course, jumping to our day, the latest efforts you have made for the outcome of the National Unity Government. We, as OIC, congratulate you, welcome the outcome, and it was, I think, the best solution for this country.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we hope that it will be sustainable. For that sustainability, what calls upon us as the international community is to work harder and more sincere, and of course, the OIC member countries, as our Western friends, frequently tell us, why aren't you more active in Afghanistan? I hope that our member countries shall be more active, inshallah,
Inshallah, Afghanistan.
for Afghanistan. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Very kind of you to have such tremendously good words for Afghanistan. And for me, I cherished all the remarks, and I'm sure you will continue to help Afghanistan, and you will continue to stand behind the next president, his chief executive, and the Afghan people. With tremendous thanks and gratitude, I say goodbye to you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.